Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Sarah Pascoe and Josh Widdicombe, Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and James Acaster. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Is it a PR stunt by the Conservatives that in order to look more human, they all have to be followed around by a Dalek at all times?
Is it actually just the worst pairing ever on Strictly Come Dancing?
Is this not David Cameron meeting the only 70s television star not being investigated by Operation
It's a Dalek saying, "Don't worry, David, I know what it's like to have doctors hate you as well."
I actually think the Dalek could be worried that the TARDIS is broken because he's asked for 2014 and he's got out and he's like, Friends is on TV, there's a war in Iraq. Someone just left take that. A famous sportsman got off for killing his partner. I'm back in the 90s.
Is it just Doctor Who regenerates as twat?
I like the idea that David Cameron has walked by and somebody just goes to the Dalek, "You had one job."
Is the Dalek simply going,
Ex-public school! It's weird, isn't it? Because it looks like he hasn't even noticed the Dalek.
He's only blanking it because they slept together once.
Do you not remember me? You held me. You held me. You said you could get me work in PR. No, do they know why Cameron is in the news?
This is the Conservative Party conference, which is being held in Birmingham.
Absolutely, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well done, Hugh. Yes, it's a picture of David Cameron, who faced a difficult start to this year's Conservative Party conference in Birmingham this week. Why? What overshadowed the conference?
Well, Mark Reckless defected over to UKIP.
Indeed,
and in some
did.
ways, it's quite a surprise, isn't it, that UKIP accepted a defection from another party, because they don't really like outsiders coming in taking their jobs.
I like Mark... Well, I don't like Mark Reckless, but I like his name.
Yeah.
He could be like an 80s cop. Like, I'd like to see a drama where Reckless is thrown off the case. That's what I'd like to see.
And the other guy who's defected is called Carswell. So that's quite a good team, isn't it?
Reckless and Carswell.
Reckless
You're
and
off the case,
Carswell.
Reckless. We're going to bring in Brian Irresponsible. Let's see.
Yeah, but prior to this, the thing that he was most famous for, Mark Reckless, wasn't it, was that he got too drunk in the House of Commons and was incapable of voting. He couldn't actually get out of the bar door, if you remember. He was trying to open the bar door to go and vote, and he kept on opening it on his own foot without realising that it was his own foot in the way. And you're guessing he's probably been trying to leave the Conservative Party for years.
I'm very angry at him. A lot of people calling him Judas. He hates that, 'cause that's an immigrant's name.
The problem for all parties, though, when people defect, is you can defect whenever you want, right, to cause the maximum damage. But presumably you could get around that if you just had, like, you know, defection window, couldn't you? Like, you could have it like the transfer window, and then you could have, like, people defecting, and you could have deadline date, and it could all be covered by Sky News. So you get Tories going to UKIP, a couple of Lib Dems going to Labour, Labour bloke joined Stoke City by mistake.
Peter Odemwingie drives to the UKIP training ground and just hangs around, wanting to force their hand into taking him. No. Yeah, what would be the UKIP medical?
Well, there's one medical. Are you white? That's the medical, isn't it?
Well, we've done the skin test, and he seems to be passing it very well. Do you fancy a curry? No. Excellent. It's quite the best panel we've ever had.
But it is the fact as well that he did leave on conference day, which is like dumping someone on their birthday. Like, that's why he's so upset. Like, you've gone, it's all insecure, it's going to get some highlights. Is it because they've got a tighter immigration policy than me?
That wasn't all that happened, obviously. What other setbacks did the Conservatives suffer just for the conference?
We've been looking forward to this. This is the man the Conservative MP who exposed himself over social media whilst wearing his blue and red paisley pyjamas.
Yes.
Yeah,
What was his
that's
name?
right.
Brooks and Newmark.
Oh, it's quite the romantic novelist name, isn't it? I mean, Mark Reckless is a crazy cop on the edge, but Brooks Newmark is your first pet and the road you grew up on. Don't have a real name, but...
Do you think he looks like if you pumped up Ed Miliband?
Yeah, he does, yeah.
And then just slowly let the air out of him?
I find myself in the odd... I don't normally feel this way, but I feel sorry for him. I think it's... He got stung by a journalist pretending to be a girl.
Yeah.
Sent him lewd photographs of another girl.
I know. I have sympathy for him as well, but the penis is not an attractive... At the no seduction is worth by going, well, wait till you see this. This is a very beautiful thing. No, women,
Actually,
I know not generalisation for women, but they don't find men's bits, I think, as just visually, well, that is a particularly lovely.
Is that why there's the little opening at the front of the pyjamas?
It's specifically designed for that, yeah.
Right, yeah,
pyjamas,
just
so
checking.
in order for you to get your junk out, quick photo, pop it back in again.
In the olden days, you just pop it out of your pyjamas, quickly draw a charcoal sketch, fold it up, give it to a carrier pigeon, they'd take it to a local madam.
Or a brass rubbing, but you've got to be careful because it gets bigger as you go on.
There's a generational element to this, I've got though, that it is very much the lingua franca for young people and their... Josh, please. I would have put in, you're a young man. Is this common now, just as a, hello, you look quite nice. Click, click, here you go. I'm just... it's a standard form of address, I'm told.
I wasn't expecting to be put on the spot, Dara, but I can say that one of you has received a photo of me already this evening. And when you all go back to your dressing rooms, my cock is on your phone, Dara.
Well, that is... I mean, I thought it'd be preloaded anyway, like the U2 album. But that would be very exciting.
I tell you what, and people would be complaining about the space that was taken up on their phones.
I hope you've got a 32 gig for this, baby. Can we move on to the actual meeting itself, the Conservative Party conference? How has that gone? How have the Conservatives, in the light of all these scandals, won back the hearts and minds of the British public?
Cameron wants to bring back the idea that you'll have your own doctor again. They want to extend GP hours and also have you don't just see annual GP, you'll have your own GP, which I like the idea of, because my surgery, you don't know which one you're going to see. And sometimes when you arrive, we've got one of those electronic arrive for your appointment things, rather than talk to a receptionist. They feel it's a more efficient way of spreading disease if you all have to touch a screen. and sometimes it'll say you're going to see this doctor or that doctor, but sometimes it doesn't know. And one time I've gone in and it's actually gone, you are seeing Dr. Unknown. My old nemesis. We meet again, Dr. Unknown.
People are worried about kind of immigration and employment. People are defecting to UKIP. And so to counter that, they've come up with this amazing policy, which is that if a parent or something dies and he leaves a pension, they're going to reduce the tax that you have to pay after death. You kind of think, what, is that exciting in any sense?
Yes.
No.
To rich people, that is enormously exciting.
I don't understand it. What about zombies?
Okay. Zombies is a legal grey area.
Do they have to pay it or do they get a rebate?
They don't get a rebate, but they only have to pay a lower rate of tax on when they draw down the lump sum that they had previously invested but not taken. Presuming they became a zombie after 75. Before 75, of course, they get the same series of monthly payments that I had leading up to the break.
I think I had a really good analogy for this, because I think it's really, really terrifying, isn't it? These voiceless people seem to be having, and very vulnerable people having their benefits cut. And the trouble with Tories is they tell you that they kind of sell this idea that it's these people's fault. And so this is my analogy. So I don't know if you know this, but girls, when they're in the toilets, some girls hover because they think that public toilets are disgusting.
What, off the floor?
No. Yes! It's amazing. We can do that.
You are amazing!
But we only do it in secret or you'll love us too much. So the girls hover hover the toilet seats and then they wee, and then that means that what they do is they kind of spray a fine mist all over the toilet seat, which means that if you're a trusting person who doesn't think that toilets are disgusting, you just sit down and then you're covered with somebody else's urine and you have to take it off. And actually, the point is, if no one ever hovered, everyone could sit on toilets. It would be fine for everyone. It's just like the Tories. You see?
It's a hell of an hour. That is... I think we can all get behind that as a political slogan if nobody ever hovered.
I don't know whether I like girls more or less after that.
I'm just glad that I'm not the only one who hovers.
At the end of that round, the points go to Josh, Sarah and Andy. Now we play a round called You Keep Me All Night, Baby. This involves Josh and James. If you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is adventure. Who wants to come in that? James.
I'm not a very adventurous person. I've only ever used one side of a cheese grater. Got no idea what the other three sides even do. I'm not the only one either, because everyone knows what side I'm talking about, right? Big holes. Got no time for small holes and tiny holes. And if you've ever seen small... It's the roughest side of anything I've ever seen in my life, small holes. There's rows of tiny little spikes, so the time I'm going to use that side is in self-defence. Then you've got to wash it. I don't know how you negotiate that. How you wash something that is rougher than your own scouring pad. Interestingly, the only thing rough enough to wash a cheese grater is a second cheese grater. I refuse to believe that anyone has ever used the side with the three curvy slits in it. Don't need them. Get rid of them, replace with something I'd actually use in my day-to-day cheese needs. Like, for me, it'd be a device that in one smooth downward motion completely unwraps a baby bell. Someone told me the other day the three curvy slits are used for slicing cheese. Apparently. It's the word on the street. Now, if I'm going to slice cheese, my first port of call is seldom the grater. Call me old-fashioned, I'm a knife man. You might think I'm a fuddy-duddy, but I like it. It's unpredictable. You always start out. You're thinking, well, this cheese cutting's going excellently. Oh, yeah. It just passed the halfway mark and the cheese takes over. Can't reverse it. It's made its mind up now. And yeah, now you've got to slice the cheese that's half the size you wanted in the first place. But at least you got some stories.
Thank you, James, for comprehensively dealing with the topic of adventure there. What, mate? That leaves us with Josh. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And it's crime. Away you go.
So, I had my cheese grater stolen. I got burgled, not for the cheese grater. When you get burgled, everyone says the same thing to you. Everyone says, oh, tell you what the worst thing about being burgled is? It's knowing that a stranger's been through your things. You go, no. It's not the worst thing about being burgled, is knowing a stranger has my things. If they had just been browsing, I wouldn't have given a shit. Offer me two options. One, come home, my laptop is gone. Or two, come home, find a stranger in my room going, well, I like this T-shirt, but have you got it in a large? I fact, my dad has said I've been burgled. He said, we know why you've been burgled and we haven't. It's because we're in the neighbourhood watch. I said, no, it isn't. It's because you live in Devon. A small village in the middle of nothing, but mile upon mile of moorland. I mean, no one's going to burgle you, because whatever they took, it wouldn't cover their petrol money. From what I can tell, the only proactive thing the Neighbourhood Watch does is once a month they have a meeting. All that does, it tells burglars for one night out of every 30. All houses are empty and unwatched. There's this paranoia about crime back in Devon, where I'm from. Went back recently, went into the local co-op, and it's a tiny co-op in a tiny village. But I went up to desk, and there was a sign that said, did you know we now do legal advice? And obviously my first reaction was, no. And to be honest, I was pleasantly surprised you did Sugar Puff, so... Why is the co-op now doing legal advice? Just too many people coming in going, I'll have 10 silk cut, a Viennetta, and I've killed a man.
Well done, very good. Well remembered. Point in that go to J.J. Carter. Call it down. Our next round is called This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. James, which category would you like?
I would like sport, please, Dara.
OK, sport it is. The answer is 8 out of 10. What is the question?
How many buzzcocks have got news for you?
Is it how many Tory MPs are currently trying to delete their WhatsApp photo messages as we speak?
It's a sport question. Is it how many of the hairs on Wayne Rooney's head started on his arse?
Is it...
I think that's where they get them, isn't it? Didn't you have that done?
Yes,
Is it
I haven't had that done. No, I haven't had that done.
I didn't say no. I didn't say you had it done. I didn't look at you and say you had had it done.
Clean shaven with my arse be if this is me after the transplant.
You might have had it done the other way.
You think I got my it's lovely now. It's very comfortable now. Yeah. Shall we move on?
Here's one that 4 people will get. In the unaired finale of Star Trek Voyager, who did 7 of 9 marry?
Or is it how many people watched Emma Watson's speech for the wrong reasons?
Is it how many people in my hip-hop dance troupe are not twins?
Are you one of the twins?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Is it, if you asked Kanye West to name 10 people he admires, how many people would be Kanye West?
Is it how many Strictly celebrities are having affairs with their dance partners?
What are my rough chances of happiness every time I dip into a bag of Revels?
Coffee, is it? Coffee
I don't like the coffee. I'm not fond of the orange.
Do you not like the orange?
Don't like the coffee at all, and I'm not fond of the orange.
Yeah.
Do not push me on this. I swear to God, I will take your fucking eye out. Sorry.
Ed! I've said this before. Let it go in the Revels.
All right.
Just buy a bag of minstrels, Ed. I've said it to you constantly.
How many of the answers in this round won't be broadcast?
Yeah. Now, Ed, does anyone want to try to answer the question?
So I think this is actually how many times Europe have beaten America in the Ryder Cup.
Very good. Thank you very much, Sarah. That's fantastic, yeah.
Really defence, man.
Yes, the question I was looking for was about the Ryder Cup. It's how many of the Ryder Cup tournaments have the European team now won over the last 2 decades? This is the 40th Ryder Cup, which saw the European team win 16.5 to 11.5 against the United States at Gleneagles this weekend, continuing their domination since the mid-90s. Have you been gripped? I would turn to you, but you probably were. Ed, have you been gripped? Yeah, I'm saying guessing it's a no.
Ah, the golf. It's like football, but slower.
Seeing all of these Europeans getting on so well together, loving being part of a team together, UKIP must hate the Ryder Cup, mustn't they?
What I thought was so odd about this, so the Ryder Cup used to be between Britain and America.
Yeah.
And then we kept losing all the time.
Yep.
So then we made it Britain and Ireland against America. And then we kept losing all the time. So now we've made it the whole of Europe against America. And now we win all the time, which means they're going to add on another country, like Russia. And then we're going to have to add on another country, like... No, Spain's in Europe, Sarah. Think it through.
Yeah.
They're going to add another country. So eventually, everyone in the world will be playing in this competition apart from women.
What was Rory McIlroy wearing to help him deal with the cold?
It was like oven gloves.
Oh, was it for the cold?
Yeah, what did you think? Why did you think he was wearing? He was using a puppet show about two sharks.
He'd won the Ryder Cup and he'd also got through to the semi-finals of the Great British Bake Off. So
It would have been a lot better if he'd also worn one of those aprons with, like, a naked woman's body on it, wouldn't it?
He's just got the good oven gloves, but it's like two separate ones, and not the, you know, the ones that are one oven glove for each hand, and then that filthy hammock. It's the most bacteria-ridden bit of fabric in your entire house. What are you using it for? Handling food. Nice one.
In other news, who has David Cameron had to apologise to in the last week?
Queen.
The Queen.
Yeah,
Yes.
because he told, I think it was the ex-mayor of New York, wasn't it? And it was overheard by a journalist. He said that when the Queen heard the Scottish referendum result, she purred. Which apparently she does.
purred.
Yeah. What he didn't say is that when she doesn't like something, she goes, bah!
Did she purr, or is that not just the sound that a phone makes when you hang up on somebody?
But I do like the idea of the Queen purring. I think that would make a fantastic Christmas message, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, the speech.
She's sat there on the little armchair. She's got a little saucer of milk, a little scratching post on the other side, just going, oh.
Would the Duke of Edinburgh be scratching her behind the neck? Is that what happened? Oh, sorry, I touched you.
Hello, you two. Hello.
Yeah, everyone saw that, right?
What's under the desk? Get up and show us what's under the desk,
Sarah, quickly, hover. Hover out of here right now.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, that is the furthest I've ever been with a girl.
I mean, I get on one level, yes, she's like a cat. We feed her, and she treats us with a fair amount of contempt.
I'm disappointed that in the most candid revelation of what she's like on the phone, it was just a bit of a purr. That he didn't say, and I told her, it's OK, Scotland decided to stay, and she said, oh, get in, you fucking beauty.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Hugh and James. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
And Hamilton takes the checkered flag. Give back the checkered flag!
And you join us tonight for the boxing. I really hope a fight doesn't kick off like last time. Guys, can't we just talk about...
Welcome to Under-16s badminton, where the players are still laughing at the word shuttlecock.
Oh, and the club has connected beautifully there. But according to World Boxing Federation rules, that's an instant disqualification.
And Switzerland takes the gold and hangs on to it even after the Second World War is after.
He turns, he shoots, and that is a horrible end to the Grand National.
Say what you like about dressage, I couldn't give a shit.
And Slippery Bastard is in first with all arms and legs. Second, Belly Flop Boy coming on the inside. And yes, I have forgotten the swimmers' names and have resorted to funny nicknames.
And you join me here in Helsinki for the final of the curling. And you know what that means? My career is going shit.
And the referee checks his watch and realise it was given by the Brazilian FA, he's going to have to return it.
Oh, so will it be Oxford? Will it be Cambridge? Who will provide most of the new cabinet?
And there's a streaker on the pitch. 2 words, hubba, hubba.
And as they take the last bend, that is the end of the Ben Stealing Championships.
And it's the relay, and he's made a grab for the baton. Oh, that's not the baton. But he's got a smile on his face anyway.
And Rosberg makes a mistake. He runs wide into turn 2. Why is he running? Get in the car, you twat!
OK, the next topic is lines you wouldn't hear in a TV detective show.
Next up, on Channel 5, a woman has a painful wrist in RSI Miami.
Of course I dusted for Prince. I'm his cleaner, and he prefers to be known as the artist formerly known as Prince.
How did I recognise him from just his genitalia? The red and blue paisley pyjamas around the outside.
Do you not speak Danish?
This week, Rosemary and Thyme are joined by 2 Indian detectives. Turmeric and chilli.
You're going to arrest me for making lewd and childish innuendos? I hope you don't expect me to come quietly.
This week, there's panic in Midsummer as they meet their first black man.
Ah, you said it was a whodunit. Yeah, we arrested Hugh Dennis.
I think I have solved it, Watson. No shit, Sherlock.
There has been a heinous crime committed on the Orient Express. Somebody has done a shit while the train was still in a station.
Leave me alone, Watson. I'm going to go back into my mind palace and have the wank of a lifetime.
Yeah. The murderer has cut out the victim's tongue. Let's get that back to the lab. I've got some envelopes need licking.
Now, Constable, the fact that you've had to redo the chalk outline 17 times should surely be an indication that the victim is still alive.
I shoot my gun like I shoot my load into my hand.
You're under arrest. You're not obliged to say anything, but anything you do say means you'll be an actor rather than an extra and you get paid a bit more.
So you say that at the time of the murder, you were hosting Daybreak on ITV. So there's no witnesses to corroborate this.
Hello, we're the fashion police. Let's see the body. Oh, blue with green. He deserves to die.
And the part's going to end here in days. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Sarah Pascoe and Joshua Whittaker.
Commiserations to Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and James Acaster. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
There's more comedy at the same time tomorrow night on BBC Two. The letter L provides inspiration for the new series of QI.
And welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Zoe Lyons and Rob Beckett, Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Zoe, which category would you like?
I'm going to go for politics, please.
Delightful. Politics is the category. The answer is 2%. What is the question?
Is the question, how much of his speeches does Ed Miliband usually remember at conference?
Is it how much of Greg Wallace can dance?
Is it how many dragons have a tattoo of a girl?
At what percentage of battery life on your phone does watching a porn film become a race against time?
Is it what is the top mark Joey Essex ever got at school?
Is it how many Americans think they should invade Ebola?
Is it how much DNA does Prince Harry share with Prince William?
Some things become newly outrageous for the Mock the Week crowd. We're here so long, we've seen that one go in and out of being shocking.
Clearly, I have misjudged the mood of conference.
Is it what percentage of Chris de Burgh is under the surface?
I think this is quite accurate. How many people who own it have actually listened to the new U2 album?
Is it the percentage chance of Jeremy Clarkson becoming the Prime Minister of Argentina?
I'm going to move it if I can have a correct,
Is it
answer.
how much effort am I prepared to put into this answer?
This is to do with the latest polls, political polls, and apparently the Tories are now 2% ahead.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Zoe Lyons. Well done. That's right. The question I was looking for was by what percentage were the Conservatives leading Labour according to polls this week? This is the story. The recent polls have put the Conservatives 2 points ahead of Labour. This is the first time the party has been in the lead since March 2012.
Who are they asking? I've never been asked. Who are they asking to get these results? Sort of just go, oh, should we ask those people by the closed-down coal mine? Now leave them. Oh, sorry to interrupt your fox, son. Who do you reckon you're going to vote for?
He had a good week, though, hasn't he, David Cameron? His approval ratings are up to -4%.
Yes.
Nick Clegg on -65. I am loving those minus numbers. It makes it look like even imaginary people think they're shit as well.
As far as I'm concerned, the Prime Minister is out of touch with the British people. But that's Gordon Brown for you.
Can you imagine, though, a -65% improvement? That means Nick Clegg must sit around dreaming of a time when no one likes him. He's aiming for just nobody.
If they're 2 points ahead, why don't they just do the election now? Because they could do it online. They could do it on Tinder, couldn't they? Just like swipe left for Labour, swipe right for... double right for UKIP. That's quite good.
Are you on Tinder, by the way?
I'm not on Tinder, no. I've got a girlfriend.
I got to actually recommend there's a comedian's version of it called Grindr. A couple of really nice guys said you will put you on Grindr and you can meet other comedians and audience members of comedy.
How did you get on with that?
Really well, really friendly guys, actually, yeah.
Do you mean Grindr?
Yes, that's the joke.
saying-
Why do you think that Labour support is declining?
Because they've got these new policies like mention tax, which is sort of ridiculous.
Why is it sort of ridiculous?
Even the Queen is going to have to pay it, apparently.
Really?
And she could justifiably say, I don't live in a mansion. I live in a palace.
But the other thing that put the Tories ahead is David Cameron came out with a warning, which was a vote for UKIP. He said, go to bed with Nigel Farage, wake up with Ed Miliband. Which, there are freaks out there for whom that is the perfect evening.
If you simply said, go to bed with Nigel Farage, wake up with Nigel Farage, that would have been a sufficient threat for me. Not to go to bed with Nigel Farage.
If his wife has
Can
to...
you imagine turning over those teeth, that big Nigel Farage grin in the morning? Shall I make you tea?
It's not working, though, is it, all this? Everyone hates all the leaders, so no one... I reckon democracy has had a go. Why don't we try a dictator? Don't get me wrong, we'll vote in a nice one and get them to do it and just see how it goes. It's a bit like Korea, but nicer with better haircuts.
I don't think you get... I don't think you get to vote in a dictator.
Yeah, I think that's normally the harsh bit of it.
But
maybe I could do my own one where you have a dictator but you vote it in. That's democracy, isn't it?
Vote for me and you'll never have to vote again. It's a slogan of sorts, isn't it?
Can we go back to the actual legitimate political parties who are operating within the democracy? I'm sorry, we say this, by the way, on a very democratic night. This is the second time in a few weeks that we have been on at 10 o'clock on a Thursday as the polls have closed and the nation is agog. I remember about this time, about 2-3 weeks ago, where we're just choosing our whiskey to settle in to watch the Scottish referendum elections. I know it'll be the same for many of you sitting at home going, oh, an exciting night of watching the results of the Clacton by-election tumbling in tonight. Why would that be historic?
Because it might be the first time UKIP have an MP.
Yes. There's Carswell, who's the UKIP candidate. He's the one on the right, rather than the one in the shop staring out.
Despicable Me.
That seems like that's exactly the kind of person UKIP is trying to remove from kind of communities like Clacton.
Is it one of your minions? Is that who it is?
Shut up. They're not my minions. They're not my minions.
Even to be fair, though, they are very hard workers.
They are very hard workers. Yeah. That's why I employed them from all my plans. No! Well, Miliband got criticised during the conference for something that Cameron did.
Miliband got criticised because he forgot most of his speech, didn't he?
Most of his speech. Well, he didn't stand walking around going, there was something...
One was he forgot chunks of his speech,
yes.
But his speech was still an hour long. Now, I watched that speech. He should have forgotten more. That was my opinion.
They're all making mistakes, aren't they, guys? He forgot stuff in his speech, and the Lib Dems put stuff in their speeches which you kind of think, that's not really going to help. So they have just... One of their policies is to legalise brothels, isn't it? The Lib Dems. They're going to have shiny new brothels all over the place with a queuing system that goes, prostitute number 1.
It's like they're desperate, isn't it? Like going, oh, what should we do? No one likes us. Too what? Legalise brothels. Oh, what's going to be next? Like, you can smoke in pubs, drinking's not bad for you, and cocaine Fridays? Should we do that? Will you vote for me then?
Until recently, I thought Nick Legg was something you did to Oscar Pistorius to stop him moving around.
In other news, what will rocket scientists attempt for the first time on the 12th of November?
Is it to get a girlfriend? I knew you were going to... I knew that was going to hurt you, wasn't it?
It hurt me, actually, yeah it is.
Because you know some rocket scientists who've got girlfriends, don't you?
Yes, I do, and they're all happy people.
Suddenly turned into step-tones.
Trust the telly face is slipping now.
It's like one of the minions is kicking off. Yeah. Keep him in check, Dara.
Do they know the actual correct...
They're trying to chuck a robot on a comet.
Frighteningly, almost exactly what they are trying to do.
There are people who've devoted their life to this, who've just gone, no, we put it like that, it doesn't sound like much, does it?
They're dropping a small robot onto a comet as it travels at some ridiculous speed. It's an astonishing thing.
It's basically the plot of Armageddon, except the comet's not coming anywhere near us.
No.
You're right, it's an amazing feat of engineering. It's
incredible.
You know, getting a small craft to land on a comet 500 million miles away, bang on time. I mean, on this Earth, South West trains often can't get a driver on a train.
I mean, it's even more impressive because, as I said, they're dropping a robot onto a comet, and people go, "Oh, so what?" It's the robot from Confused.com, that irritating one that goes around with the check, going, "Hello, Terry, I have Confused.com." And I think that is a positive step for humanity.
It's going to be very, very confused when it finds itself on a comet.
They're always chucking robots and satellites and stuff. Though I'm thinking about the robots. I've seen WALL-E, and it's a sad place.
Will the robot come back, or is that it?
No, that's it for the robot.
Oh, fuck. Oh.
No, I don't like that
You've probably driven your microwave oven to a dump at some stage. Did you cry? Did you think, "Don't look, make it face away from me as I drive away"? As I tip my old washing machine, "Don't let it see me! Don't let it see me as I drive away."
Why don't we just hope that comet hits Earth and it can come back?
Well, it'd be the last laugh for that robot if it suddenly kept smashing back, isn't it? Oh,
riding it like a Bronco.
Say hello to me again! You're dying confused? Not anymore!
You should be able to get it back, though, because normally when I go anywhere on a train, it's only a little bit more for a return, isn't it?
The robot was murdered outside my house once. Well, there was like a chalk outline. Although, thinking about it, it might have been some kids playing hopscotch.
At the end of that one, we're going to Rob, Zoe and Andy! Now we play a round called Welcome to the Glib Dem Conference. This game involves Zoe and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let us spin the wheel. The first subject is food and drink.
I love my food. I don't like the way women are still advertised to, like certain foods are a naughty little treat. You know the ones? Chocolate's naughty, innit? In chocolate, naughty. Girls eating chocolate. Isn't that naughty? I think, no, it's not. Chocolate's not naughty, eat it. Chocolate's only naughty if you've beaten somebody to death with a foot-long Toblerone. I'm very competitive around food. Do you know what I mean by that? Does anybody else panic in a tapas situation? Do you know any sort of shared plate environment, you find yourself sort of facially twitching, thinking, this isn't going to be enough, is it? My nightmare scenario is if I go out for a meal and somebody at the end of the table just goes, should we order just lots of little things and share it? I'm like, should we just not? I take it very seriously. I'll shovel it in, I really do. Don't attempt to eat tapas with me, that's what I'm saying, because you will lose. You will lose, and then you'll have a little cry when I make you split the bill, because that will happen. There's usually one girl at the end of the table just crying her eyes out, going, why am I paying 53 quid, though? I only had an olive. I'm like, you had the same chances as me, bitch, you just didn't take them. You were banging on about this and banging on about that. I was shoveling in the meatballs. I was getting my money's worth. In fact, I managed to eat so much that night, I got up to leave, I put my glasses on, I thought, they feel tight.
Thank you, Zoe. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is home.
My mum's a bit like the Beijing government. When you go round, you only see the nice china. I was smacked as a child, but you should see the state of the home I put my parents in. I grew up in a home that was always full of exciting and exotic items from all over the world, because my parents were both baggage handlers. These days, I live in a windmill. It's not a big windmill, and to be honest, golf balls keep coming through the front door. The other day, I lost my doormat. But fortunately, I keep a spare under a giant bunch of keys in the front garden. As a child, I had a medical condition that meant I had to eat soil 3 times a day in order to survive. Lucky my older brother told me about it, really. He later died of massive head injuries. He was hit over the head with a Toblerone.
Thank you very much, Jamie Jones. Once there for David Lyon. David, come back. Our next round is called Why Are These People in the News? So, why are these people in the news?
Is it a middle-aged couple taking their young son for a walk?
I was just thinking, the years have not been kind to McFly.
I reckon it's from my favourite TV show from America. It's 2.5 Men, isn't it?
Yeah, or 3 men and a baby, and the baby hasn't been born yet.
Is it low turnout for Twat Pride?
Say, I don't care what the arrow says, we are walking on the left.
Does look like the evolution of man in reverse, doesn't it?
I know what the actual story is. Please.
Is it
Yes.
the Top Gear guys chased out of Argentina?
Yeah, of course it is.
For
Thank you
being
very much,
so bloody-
Ron Becker. Thank you very much. Yes, this is Top Gear presented with Jeremy Clarkson, James May and Richard Hammond, who this week were chased out of Argentina by an angry mob. The mob claimed that the use of the number plate H982FKL was an inflammatory reference to the 1982 Falklands War. Now, they denied it. They denied it. But somehow, you still kind of feel that maybe it was.
Wouldn't you believe them more about it wasn't deliberate if the Stig hadn't been following them dressed as a penguin, waving a picture of Margaret Thatcher?
I don't get why they've taken Top Gear to South America. Surely South America's got enough Top Gear as it is. Right, guys? You've got to do one proper one, haven't you, now and again?
If they're on television, shouldn't they have used one of those blurry number plates?
It's so strange now, Top Gear. I remember it used to be about, like, cars. Now it's just like watching a documentary of your dad's mates having a breakdown.
I've got no interest in it because I've got no interest in cars. I did once buy a second-hand car, and I can remember thinking I ought to look underneath the bonnet. And I looked underneath the bonnet, and all I could think was, well, that looks full.
That is the mark of a good car,
Yeah.
how full it is under the
And then
bonnet.
I thought, well, I better kick the tyres, because I'd seen somebody once do that on the
Very
film.
important, very important, very important.
And
yeah.
they're surprisingly hard if you've never kicked a
No.
tyre before.
I find you often kick the second tyre a lot less energetically than you kick the first tyre, and with a different foot.
I was once selling a second-hand car, the car I had to get rid of, and I thought, you always think that you're going to know less about cars than the bloke who's buying the car. And this bloke came, and he did all the kicking of the tyres, everything. I thought, oh, God, he knows a lot. And he looked at all the bodywork. And then he got into the car, and he sat behind the driving seat, and he said, so, he was sitting there with me there, he said, so, is this a left-hand or a right-hand drive?
And you went, cha-ching!
Personalised number plate's a good day. I bought my son one when he was born, but I did have to call him TGH 308F.
When you buy a second-hand car, still, every now and again you will see they'll use that strapline, one lady owner. Have you seen that? That makes me, cracks me up.
Who is this woman with all these
I don't know.
cars?
I don't know who she... It's the word lady as well. It just makes it sound like all of us women just drive around in bonnets with white gloves on with a freshly baked Battenberg steaming away beside us on the seat. When I sell the car that I've got at the moment, I'll be able to use that strapline, one lady owner, and I'll tell you exactly what that means. It meant 2 months ago I managed to drive it for half an hour with the handbrake on. That's what it means.
You really just hammer it.
Yeah.
You'll get, no handbrake can hold you.
If you go downhill...
Honey, you're an independent woman, and no handbrake is going to hold you. Push you.
I just convinced myself the car in front was having a little barbecue in the back seat.
What weird modern-day inventions have been in the news this week?
There's a bracelet they've invented that shocks you if you don't go to the gym when you said you were going to go to the gym.
Yes, it's called it's a wristband, a Pavlok wristband, and it gives you a motivational zap if you haven't. It tells you GPS-wise. It senses that you're in the gym or wherever you said you're going to be, or at the meeting you're supposed to be at, and it gives you an electric shock if you're not.
I don't think motivational and zap go together, really, do they?
It's basically a watch for masochists, isn't
Yes.
it? You know, it's like, I've been a bad boy. I don't think I've quite been bad enough. Turn it up a bit more. I wonder if I put this on my penis, how this is going to work.
You wouldn't need to... Just make sure you're not down to 2%, you'll be all right.
You're saying if you go to the wrong website, it'll give you a little shock so you don't go on the website.
Yes, it
but
does
surely
do
if you
that.
go on a website that you shouldn't really be on, you just delete history, don't you? I mean, the tricky bit is not deleting history. The tricky bit is then going on all the innocuous websites afterwards so as it doesn't look like you've deleted history. That's the tricky bit, isn't it?
History seems to be very empty in this computer, because I saw you on it all evening yesterday.
Yeah, I never touched the deleted
I've never
history.
on it like that, yeah. Yes. Private browsing, Andy, private browsing. My favourite member of the Army Corps, private browsing. Good afternoon, private browsing. Are you on duty again? I certainly am, Dara. I shall be protecting you from any inappropriate sites. Private browsing, reporting for duty. Pants down, private browsing in here.
I should protect your browsing while you shop for gifts for your wife. That is apparently what private browsing was invented for.
I love that. Oh, I mean, I've got private browsing on because I'm shopping for some gifts for my wife. Oh, really? You seem to be buying her pornography. Are you sure this is the gift she particularly wants? Private browsing. Reporting for
She
duty.
told me that her favourite film as a child was Double Fist and Kiss.
Private browsing isn't happy with it. Private browsing has never had to work under these conditions before. He's mainly used for shopping for gifts.
Private browsing is retraining as an electrician.
Why did you leave the army? Oh, the things I saw. I saw some things.
You weren't there, man.
You weren't there. You weren't there. You didn't see what I saw. The first casualty of war, my friend. Your private browsing, the first casualty of war is innocence. Private browsing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know anything like Benny Hill. Private browsing. At your service. Madam.
Benny Hill would do.
No, it'd be like, you know, what's it, the paper clip that would appear. It seems
Oh,
legit.
yes. You look like you're buying some pornography.
Small animated soldier came out and said, "Do you want to look at the porn?" Private browsing can help you with that. I'm losing myself here. It's the last record of a long summer, you know. Literally, I've got to enjoy this because in 3 days' time I'll be going, over the next 12 weeks, 20 candidates will be putting themselves having sugar.
Private browsing's going to get some visitors.
He's going to get some fucking hammering.
I think your penis is going to get some corporal punishment.
There'll be some major damage and general recklessness. What new trend and Colonel Abrams?
That was it.
Sorry, we'll bring it back.
Lost it.
Stop. Colonel Abrams is great, though. None of you remember... Do any of you even remember Colonel Abrams? Anyway, he sang a song called Trapped. It was really good.
I can't get out. I'm trapped like a fool. I'm in a cage.
I'm like a man in a cage. I'm so in love with you, love with you, love with you. Sorry, would you like me to carry on with the show? Sorry. Yeah, whatever.
You boys have got a shared past we can only imagine about.
At the end of the poll is going to end here in Milton. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is Things you wouldn't hear at a party conference.
Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome to the UKIP party conference.
The leader's speech will be signed for the hard of hearing.
Welcome to the UKIP party conference, and we've picked the most British place we could find. Welcome to Benidorm.
And the good news is the polling data is in, and we are just ahead of others.
Good news, if you're a small mother, we're going to raise the minimum wage.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and welcome your new leader of the UKIP party. It's Mrs. Chowdhury and her wife, Paula.
Fellow members of UKIP, I think it is safe to say, judging by the amount of Eastern Europeans working in the kitchen here, that the soup we had for lunch was mainly piss.
As the Lib Dem leader, I say to you, go back to your constituencies and prepare your CVs.
Let me say quite categorically that this party is in favour of nuclear power.
Welcome, Liberal Democrats. The theme of our conference this year: why are we bothering?
Please welcome to the stage your new Prime Minister, Mel B.
And for the last time, can I assure you that the NHS is safe in our blood-stained money-grabbing hands?
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear on daytime TV.
Good night.
Well, welcome back to Dutch Daytime TV. Next up, it's Hash in the Attic.
Hello and welcome to The Chase. Long walk back, long walk back. I know, should have gone the other way.
Good evening. Sorry, good afternoon. Forgot how badly my career was going there.
Today on 60 Minute Makeover, David Dickinson gets re-sprayed with creosote again.
Thank you for watching this morning. Now put down the vodka, get dressed and go to work.
Today on Jeremy Kyle, Jayden will be asking Mustafa... No, I better not do that one.
Today's episode of Jeremy Kyle has just been cancelled.
Today on Jeremy Kyle, Jayden will be asking Spencer why he won't read his research paper on neutron decay in lithium isotopes. That was worth it.
Today on Jeremy Kyle, Jayden will be asking Spencer, where is Mustafa?
Hello and welcome to Who Do You Think You Are? How dare you? I don't care if you're a 70s DJ.
Welcome back. Well, we'll see if the police catch them before they actually hand over the drugs. Yep, it's deal or no deal.
Susan asked for a distressed look in her front room, so we told her a cat had been run over.
You're watching More 4. Next up, I'm gonna go with Come Dine With Me.
The next programme has been sponsored by Dignitas. Come die with me.
And next, I'm going to be reading out some of your texts and emails. That's what you get for not locking your phone.
Due to a misunderstanding, Flog It Saudi Arabia has been cancelled.
Hello and welcome to Loose Women.
OK, here in that round, of course, with Ed Hugh Milton. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parton, Zoe Lyons and Rob Beckett. Commiserations to Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Tomorrow at 10, lovingly located here on BBC Two, the L series of QI continues with Johnny Vegas and Jason Manford joining Stephen Fry. Next tonight, it's Newsnight.